On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have left California.
This Brownsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa.
Hell no!
Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Welcome again to another edition of Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. I am one half of that duo, Cole Johnson, the other half, which is Brian Snow. He'll join me momentarily. And we will go through, of course, the gauntlet. We will touch on, of course, Lamar Jackson, and he leaked out news saying that he requested a trade that now is almost 4 weeks old, which, am I surprised? No. We'll touch on also a little bit of the NBA season. We will, at the bottom of hour number 2, have Spivey Notes with Jay Spivey and other surprises as well. But for now, let's get to another special edition of The Whip Around. Now, if we were looking for the same type of thrills and chills and surprises that we got from the men's NCAA tournament, it's not so much that way with the women's. So, of course, the field now is down to its final four. Of course, the reigning power of the moment, South Carolina, is in. Joining them, of course, is label mate, or I should say conference mate, LSU, after they just basically tore up Maryland in the Elite Eight last night. They will join Virginia Tech, of course, in the ACC, and the Big Ten's Iowa. Now, the matchup that we're looking forward to, I think, here is, of course, Iowa and South Carolina in one of the national semifinals, and I believe that will take place Friday, if I'm not mistaken, in Dallas. So, let's talk a little bit about this tournament. So, the women's game has gone through some changes, and now they are implementing the super regional format, similar to what I think we see with baseball. You know, baseball has a regional round, and then they have a super regional round, and then they have the World Series in Omaha. It looks like what the NCAA is doing with the women's game is basically breaking it down that way, having like a regional round where you still have teams playing on campus. You know, one of the highest seeds playing on their campus. And then they get the super regional where, of course, they play at a neutral site. So So they would have these sites that would be 4 in the Elite Eight in the Sweet 16-ish era, but they now narrowed it down to 2, and it seems like everybody's loving it, from the players to the organizers to the fans that go to the stands. Now, part of the thinking is centralizing the regional games was to actually bring up attendance, which that is a plus. Again, the goal is to get as many bodies into these arenas as you possibly can. And for a game like the women's, which is more fundamentally sound than the men's, and is so how can I say this? So flagrantly disrespected as opposed to the men's, this is a wonderful home run for the game. Now, they had this in Greenville, South Carolina, and in Seattle. And the record numbers are pouring in. Each game had almost 11,000 people per session. The previous record, the total record was 83,000, which is almost 10,000 clear of its previous record. So that was a home run for sure. And as
I'm
we
not
now
awake
welcome
yet.
the person who just admitted he is still asleep or sleepwalking, the
Yes.
man who was the founder of Snowman in the Morning and the CEO of Snowman Multimedia, the man that we call Snowman, Brian Snow. How are you, sir?
Good morning, everybody. I got 2 hot mochas in front of me. That's my brew for the day. What are we talking about? Pro day? Did I miss something? What I miss? What I miss?
No, no. Well, I was about to wrap up, basically talking about the women's Final Four.
Oh,
Last
they should
night,
put it in a bit. They should put it in a big
not
stadium.
really being, and it won't be too big of a surprise. Yeah, I think what they're trying to do, and I'm glad you actually said that because it could segue me into what I was going to say here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what they're trying to set up in the future, because what seemingly the NCAA is doing with the game is, with the men's game, you have 4 neutral sites in the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8
Yep.
portion.
Yep.
What the women's game is doing is they basically having 2 sites, one in the East, one in the West, and
Yeah.
they want to bring
Yeah.
more people to the stands, and
Mm-hmm.
it absolutely worked. And I think that's what they're trying to set up. I think they want to set up having basically the intention of having the super regionals in arenas, NBA arenas, and then actually hosting women final fours, just like the men's, in big stadiums. I think that's where they're going with it. And of course, they'll
The
be
upgrade
in
for the
Dallas this
women.
weekend, but
Yeah.
it'll be in an arena.
The upgrade should be like the men did it, because in the early 2000s they started playing stadiums that could seat at least 40,000, and then they upgraded it to where they can have 70,000. I
Mhm.
think the last 40,000 seat stadium that the men's Final Four hosted, memory serves me correct, and I'm not awake yet, is St. Louis at the TWA Dome. I believe that to be the case.
Okay. That's good to
And
know.
then they went to the Alamo Dome, which is 65,000, and now the requisite is 70,000,
Right.
which is where this one is this year in Houston.
Right. Yes. The men's game is being hosted in NRG Stadium. Now, of course, the first tip-off there is Saturday afternoon. The women's game, the first tip-off is Friday evening. So, good things ahead. Now, as I said, unlike the men's game where you had a lot of surprises, there were very few. You had some, but there were very few in the women's side. And I think everybody's happy how the women's went.
Yeah.
And
I am
looking
happy.
forward to it. I'm happy
I am
too.
happy there's extra eyes on the women's game.
Which it needs to be. Yeah. It
Well,
needs to be.
when we take a hold of the broadcast rights in a few years, there's going to be a lot of eyes on the women's game, if I got something to say about it.
Yeah.
Because I've adored the women's game since 1982, when the NCAA hosted its first women's Final Four at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. I've always said the women's game has been more fundamentally sound than the men's game, and all they've done lately has proved me right.
Yeah.
But
they become even more fundamentally sound.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And it needs to the fundamentals. What we talk about? The fundamentals have gone in the men's game.
Yeah, in the men's game, it's all about athleticism.
It's all about the athleticism.
No matter the level, it's all about athleticism. If you have handles, if you have explosion, if you have the fast first step, if you have the jumper,
if you have a step back travel, James Harden. Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, it's more the emphasis on the individual having athletic prowess, than it is the team playing as a whole, and basically acting as if you are one of the 5 chess pieces on a big board.
And the first big stadium that hosted a Final Four. Well, the first one that I watched that was in a big stadium was March
Superdome.
29th,
Yeah,
1982,
Superdome. Mhm.
in the Superdome.
Yep.
Michael Jordan, anyone?
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that we sufficiently actually said that, you know what, the women's game needs to be repped, and it will be repped, and it will be
Mm-hmm.
repped the right way. And congratulations to South Carolina, LSU, Virginia Tech, and Iowa for now being one of the 8, because you got the women's Final Four, that's the 4 there, and of course they joined the 4 in the men's.
Yep,
And
in Texas, and they're both
yes,
in Texas. How about that?
and both are in Texas. The men's game is in Houston, the women's game,
It's in
women's
Dallas.
games in Dallas. So, big things do happen in Texas. I love it, and hopefully
Yep.
we get 6 good games. All
I'm
total.
looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I am so looking forward to this pair of Final Four.
yeah, I am too. And that concludes today's whip around. To the Fanatic Feedback Zone, we go to Mr. FAU alum A. Pizzle.
Good morning, A. Pizzle.
The first one to arrive. Has the smile dissipated from your face, sir? I know
No.
you are beaming. 'Cause I
I'll-
would be too, man.
I'll answer that question. Nope, and it's not going to dissipate,
No.
especially when I reveal that I have FAU playing Monday night.
The way they've been playing, I would not be surprised.
It's
Ryan McCarthy of Snow Critics has acquired fame. He says, "Good morning, Snow Crew. Good morning
good morning
brother.
to you, Mr. McCarthy.
Good morning to you, brother Guest." Sig Diggy says, "Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good afternoon to you, Mr. Sick Diggy."
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord. And Sig says, "Cue the Shaft intro. The Snowman is here."
You
John
know what?
Fitzgerald,
I
it's
gotta
good to see you
pay.
again. Good morning.
I gotta pay my partner Cole some love. You an absolute fool with the way you began the show yesterday.
Me?
Yes,
fool?
you.
How?
Don't you start with me with that wicked smile on your face. All I have to say is one sentence. He made me do it.
That's one classic scene. Oh my
Isn't
gosh.
it?
That's one classic scene.
Now I've
I love
only seen the clip that you brought in,
Mhm,
which made me and Jody almost crash when we were driving to Indianapolis
mhm,
last year.
mhm.
But now I saw the entire scene.
Yes. The entire scene is, yeah, it's
Man.
absolutely hilarious.
And it was what did we talk about yesterday? It was overacted so well.
Yes.
You know?
hmm It was. It was.
Oh man.
John says, look, my final for the men's title game is Miami versus FAU, all Florida final. His original, though, was Purdue, Bama, and Texas and Kansas.
Kansas. Yeah, and they all bit the dust.
Yeah, which it was basically it's all number 1 seeds except for Texas, obviously.
Except for Texas.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was a good try, but it's unfortunate. Six says,
Yep.
the Six says, the Snowman Sleeping Brown mode is brought to you by Droopy Eye Energy Drink. The energy drink for deceptive alertness.
You know, they need to invent that.
Oh,
Because
my gosh.
the wrong button was invented. It's called a snooze button.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
'Cause-
Lord.
Me and Snooze get along too well. And the same with Jody, because we both tried getting up and getting going and it didn't work for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, my goodness.
But y'all have been there.
Yeah.
You just have those days where you don't want to get up.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Sick also says the women's game needs more support and eyeballs on it, especially from women.
That's why I'm covering it.
That has been my point about all levels of the women's game. If they cater toward the women and the girls, I think they will have the product where everybody across the board be
watch
happy.
this. Oh, watch this. Watch what I do. Watch what we do. put a plural on that. Watch what we do with Snowman Multimedia. Because you know who's the biggest advocate of me covering women's sports? Take a guess.
Oh, wifey.
Yep.
Yeah.
She saw me do a women's game and fell in love with it, and she said, that's your niche.
Yeah. It's just simply put, and I'll put it bluntly. Does the NBA go out of its way to market their game toward women? No.
Hell no.
They don't have to.
That's obvious.
Yeah, they don't have to.
Right.
It's marketed toward men, and really, what brings many women to the sport, unless you know how to actually play the game, which some are just drawn by that.
Yeah.
But for some who are just casuals, it's the sex appeal. I mean, just straight up, it's sex appeal.
That's it.
So you could do the exact same thing for women. I'm not talking about you can have women wear lipstick and have them wear scantily clad clothes. I'm not talking about that.
No.
What I'm saying is you can cater the women's game toward the women and the girls, and you're gonna have guys like us who love the sport and especially love it the way it's played. Like, thank you, the late great John Wooden. We'll gravitate toward the sport because we're seeing good, sound basketball being played, and then the casuals that are men, they're gonna look at a couple of them that are gonna think that some of the women are attractive. And by byproduct, you're going to have more ingrained into the sport. But you got to cater the women's game to the women and the girls. You got to.
You have to. I mean, when I covered the Sky for 4 years, that's what they were expertly doing. And then somehow the folks up top saw that and for some reason didn't like it. I don't know why.
Yeah, well.
You've seen that.
Yeah, biases need to stop. Ryan says, I promise, no drive-by stream appearances today. Thank you, sir. Big Kaz
and he
joining
caught
us.
my look. Hey, Big Kaz from Japan joining us this morning. So we are really internationally syndicated. Thank you, Big Kaz, for joining us.
And he says, look, Cole looking extra lively this morning. Thank you, Big Kaz. I appreciate that.
He's making up for me right now while I get this mocha in me.
And Ryan says, look, if you want scantily clad athletic women wearing makeup, go watch professional wrestling.
Bingo.
Oh, okay. I'll put it this way. No lie to be found.
No lie to be found.
All right. I think we are due for a break, and
we
let's
are
take
indeed.
it now.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we got more stuff for you.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Cole, for getting us started. This is Snowman in the Morning, live from Edinburgh, Indiana, and the Tennessee Whiskey Studios. We're back in a moment.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. 4 men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Doc, and H-Rap B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brooksnightguard.com and order yours today.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Cause
Now, forgive me not knowing the brother. You got your mic black. I don't know who the hell you are. It's like you're in the broadcasting witness protection program.
welcome back to Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. As we are joined every Tuesday, the man is called the Playmaker, or the man who is in the broadcast witness protection program, or the hardest working content creator I know. How you doing, man?
Go ahead. It takes Cole Johnson's brilliance to put that intro together. and it takes the brilliance of Chris Bates to voice it.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Playmaker?
What's good?
I'm not awake yet, so I can't answer that.
Mm-hmm.
A rarity, because I'm on location. I'm not in my home office. I don't know. It's one of those times I decided at the last minute, and Jody just looks at me. You're riding in with me today, aren't you? Yeah, I am. And I had my energy when I got up, and I fed my kitten, I fed my dog, and I took care of the garbage, and I got everything out. But the moment I sat in the car, you know the rest.
Oh, that body needed the rest.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand that.
All right, Playmaker.
Now,
Florida Atlantic, San Diego State, UConn, and Miami. What?
All right, first and foremost, the most dominant team in the whole entire tournament is UConn.
Is UConn. Yes.
Yeah. They smashing everybody.
Yeah.
Their average margin of victory has been at least 15 points.
I was going to say, every win's been double digits, right?
Yes.
Everyone has been double digits.
And they creamed Gonzaga, which brings to mind an article written on The Inscriber magazine. Thank you, Robert Cobb, for stating this. And I'll put it in the form of a question. He made it a statement. I'll put it in the form of a question. Is it time for us to stop talking about Gonzaga as an elite program?
You're talking about a program who has won at least 20 to 25 games a year since Matthew has been there, and you're talking 20 plus years as he's been at Gonzaga.
That's why I put it in the form of a question.
He has been to the Elite Eight how many times?
I think 6.
He's been to the Final Four. He's been to 2 national championship games.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for the heroes of Ty Lawson in one of them,
yeah, true.
You would have had a championship.
I met Mark Few, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. I met Mark Few when Gonzaga wore the navy blue wore the all blue uniforms, and I met him at Chicago State. And nice guy to talk to. But it's all about this Final Four: UConn, Miami, Florida Atlantic.
We don't call Gonzaga a blue blood. Okay.
No, we don't.
But we're not going to sit here and discredit Gonzaga, what Mark Few, what he has done at Gonzaga.
Like I said, that's why I put it in the form of a question and not a statement. I know better. I know better than to do that. But how about these? I'll come to Playmaker, then I got to step away for a moment. How about these UConn Huskies? As he shakes his head. Did you not expect them to go on a run?
It's not the run, it's how they're doing it.
Oh, beating everybody's butt. I mean,
they got smacked by Marquette in the Big East tournament.
Yes. And since then,
they've been smacking everybody else. And then again, if you want to look at it, they never lost a non-conference game this whole season.
Right.
Also been in the Big East.
Right.
They're the last Big East team standing.
And they will be the last team standing.
I hope not.
Oh, no. Cole, look at the bottom comment. We're going to go off the rails already. I see it.
To take something from yesterday's mentality, Jason Whitless, bum trash. Thank you, Victor. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it.
I want y'all to look at this Final Four because most people, the casual people, will look at it and be like, yeah, what's that Final Four is this? I want y'all to look at this Final Four. You have San Diego State, who's won over 30 games. You have FAU, who's won over 30 games. You have Miami and UConn looking to win their 30th game this season. They might not be big names outside of UConn, but you have teams that know how to play ball and know how to win. And it shows in their record. You muted, Cole.
I know it's meeting on purpose. I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday, and he didn't realize it, but he was talking as if he is a blue blood fan, and he was basically saying, man, this Final Four isn't all that exciting because the top seeds aren't there. And for those who have, I was going to say, for those who are under a rock, the men's Final Four, there is no number 1 seed, no number 2 seed, and no number 3 seed that's advanced. The highest seed is UConn, and they came into this tournament seeded number 4. So, yeah, his take is, well, I really can't be invested. I'm like, yeah, for those who are about blue bloods, this wouldn't be for you. And I think what he didn't understand is he's about the blue bloods. He's about the either the number 1, like a mixture of a couple number 1s with a 2 and maybe a Cinderella, or a 1, 2, 3, or a couple of 1s, a couple of 2s. He's that type of guy, but he doesn't realize it. And I'm like, look, how could you not see this is going to be coming this year? Because, correct me if I'm wrong on Playmaker, the number 1 seed this year in the regular season was like a hot potato. I can't remember how many times Houston had it. I can't remember how many times Alabama had it, and I know Purdue had it a couple times. And that's just 3 of the teams that had it this year, and it just kept bouncing around week to week. So to me, this was bound to happen.
But I want y'all to understand though. Look at San Diego State. They outmanned the overall number 1 team in Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
That speaks a lot to how they play.
Mm-hmm. Right.
FAU, Conference USA made it out of the, what I'm going to call that side of the bracket. They made it out of the Death Star bracket.
Not Death Star.
Found a lie. That's the side of the bracket that everything got screwed up.
Well, I mean, all the brackets got screwed up, though.
No, I'm saying that particular reason itself is what all hell broke loose.
Like I just mentioned, no number 1, no number 2, no number 3. In fact, 2 number 1s gone before the Sweet 16. Then we had another go out Sweet 16 round, and the last one went out in the Elite 8. So, I mean,
no, none of them made it to the Elite 8.
That's right. I'm sorry. My bad. My bad. I'm sorry. Both of them, the 2 number 1s that lasted to the Sweet 16 round didn't even pass that round. Thank you. Sorry about that. I don't know why I was thinking Texas. I know Texas was ranked in the number 2 seed. But yeah, one got bounced in round of 64, one got bounced in round 32, and the other 2 got bounced in Sweet 16. And for me, I'm like, okay, this actually to me, I think it bodes well for the college game in terms of, okay, so it's not going to be the usual suspects. So of course, the TV numbers might be down. The expectation might be down because we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to cheer for the big time programs, the Dukes, the North Carolinas, the Kentuckys. We're just sort of geared up to root for them, even if we have interest elsewhere.
If you have not been watching the tournament, if you've been watching the tournament, there's part of you that's in like, I gotta watch this Final Four because you watch how these teams got there.
Yeah.
And remember, it ain't like back in the day when you only can watch that one channel and you have to look at the top of the TV to see what's going on everywhere else. They have it a way that you can watch every game. And everybody went back and forth between games trying to figure out, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, this. You have 2 Florida schools in here. And by the way, people have told me, they have commented, South Florida is going bananas.
Well, of course they are. How could they not be going bananas? I mean, you have the U actually showing some athletic prowess, but in basketball, not in football. So, for the first time in school history, they're going to the Final Four, and then FU, the same thing for them. Yeah, well, I can see how South Florida's going absolutely crazy.
Then you have San Diego State making their first ever appearance on the Final Four.
Yes, and then you have them, who's never appeared in the Final Four before this one. So
you have three newcomers,
and that's a problem that people are saying. I'm like, I don't know if that's a problem.
And guess what? One of them gonna be in the championship game.
I don't really have a horse in the race in terms of this is what I want to see. All I know is and
Go, you breaking up.
Anyway, yeah, but I just think it's a good thing. It's a good thing that we're having these talents that be spread out. That they're not focusing on Duke or Kentucky or UCLA or Carolina or Georgetown or Syracuse. They're not going to those schools per se. They're going where they will get the coverage, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for the sport. Now, I have my thoughts about the bad aspect of things, but to me, the good aspect of sport is you're having these prospects go to different places. Like, I can't tell you the last time University of Houston was relevant in the basketball world, other than when I was in school. And I don't mean college, and I don't mean high school. Heck, I don't even mean junior high school. So it's been a long time since good, solid basketball players decided to say, you know what, I'm going to call University of Houston home. Same thing with Texas. Same thing with UCLA, because it's been a minute since they've actually been. We can actually consider them a national power. What, 95? Is that the last time we've been thought of them that way?
Last year, you had all blue bloods last year.
Right.
And eventually Kansas took out North Carolina.
And North Carolina messed it all up, and it's their own fault. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say something bad?
And to me, it feels good.
It feels wonderful. Let me address a friend of mine, Ab Stanley, who said, let me put it in Cole's vernacular, that this men's Final Four was trash. No, it's not. It's one of the best Final Fours ever, because you have 4 teams with a legitimate shot of winning the thing.
He didn't like it when I basically called him a blue blood fan, because I'm like, basically you're saying you want.
I said the same thing.
You want top-notch programs to be in the mix, and since they're not, your interest is gone.
Well, guess what? Thank Arkansas for that. Thank
you.
No.
Thank Florida. Don't thank not just the 4 that are in the Final Four. Thank Fairleigh Dickinson for blowing this tournament to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
Fairleigh Dickinson beat top-seeded Purdue, and they didn't just beat them; they socked them in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me say it the right way. And Victor, this is for you. They socked him in the mouth.
And you know the funny thing is,
what's that?
Let's talk. Let's really have this conversation, because they ain't looking for
Please.
blue blood. Because guess what? If Alabama ain't a blue blood, but if Alabama made it to the Final Four, nobody would be complaining.
Yeah, everybody would have called him a blue blood. Everybody would have called him a blue blood, and Alabama deserved to get beat.
No,
Alabama's not a blue blood when it comes to basketball.
No, they're not. But they are a name, and they know the name. Of course, they know them by football, but they know them, and it's like, okay,
and they got popped.
And it's a school. It's a school that people know, and and they hope, many hope, that the rabid fan base that's for football would translate to the basketball. That's why if Alabama made it, it would have been cool. In terms of a guy who is all about blue bloods, it's like, okay, I know the school's name.
Yeah, if Kansas State would have made it, they wouldn't have been mad.
Same thing.
Same thing. I wouldn't have been mad if Kansas State made it, but Kansas State got beat by a better team.
Yeah, better team beat them.
And this is what a lot of passing fans need to understand about how March Madness works, because I've run into a lot of them that believe the same thing. That believe the same thing that Ab Stanley believes. And when we get Jay on here during hour 2, we're really going to eviscerate Carolina sports. Oh, I'm sorry, I gave that away. But be that as it may, the best teams do 2 things: survive and advance. The best teams do two things: survive and advance. And I'll bet you anything, no one, well, except maybe A. Pizzle, because he's an alum, had Florida Atlantic going as far as they did.
Actually, to correct you, Snowman, 37 brackets out of all the brackets made actually had this Final Four.
Was yours one of them?
Hell no.
Then it don't count. No, I'm kidding.
This
year,
this is what they said. They said 37 people actually had this Final Four.
That's a lie.
What order they had it in, I don't know.
That's a damn lie.
Nobody brackets perfect, but
show me the brackets. Show me. That's a let me borrow Chris Bates. That's a flying lie. I ain't buying it. And this is the reason I didn't do a bracket. These Final Four right here, and I'm so looking forward to watching this Final Four Saturday and Monday. And Monday's the day before my 1-year surgery anniversary. I'm so looking forward to watching this Final Four, men and women, for the simplest of reasons. The roles are reversed. You have teams in the women's Final Four that you expected to get there, and then you have teams in the men's Final Four, and you're thinking, who the hell are these guys?
You know what? We're going to talk women's to begin hour 2. How about that?
No, we're not, because I got something else in mind.
Hey,
we're gonna have that women's discussion in the middle of hour 2. Trust me on this one. Trust me.
This women's Final Four? Oh yeah.
And I have an upset. Matter of fact, let's have this conversation. Matter of fact, let's do a reset. I have to step away for a moment. Let's do a reset and let's have that women's Final Four conversation.
All right. Well, then, when we come back, women's Final Four, more of it.
Might as well go ahead and go in hour number 2.
Not quite. So we'll take a pause for the cause. When we come back, more on the women's Final Four, as we touched on it at the top of the show. We will get the playmakers' take on it. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Be right back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets. so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
Cause we take this job so serious.
The is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Yes, it's Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. We will continue on with Playmaker, and I am Cole Johnson, half of the Snowman in the Morning morning show. My partner will join me momentarily, and I actually have to jet out real quick. Playmaker, you're going to have to probably take the reins yourself and talk about more on the Women's Final Four, what you think, all the matchups that you love, and who you think is going to win it all as the tournament starts Friday. So take it over, sir. I shall return.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Women's Final Four is set. On one side, you have LSU and you have Virginia Tech. In LSU, they have a superstar that is called the Bayou Barbie, Angel Reese, who's been masterful at double doubles. I do mean double doubles. I think she achieved her 30th double double in the Elite Eight in a win over Miami. It's something to see what she does with LSU as they go up against Virginia Tech, the number one seed from the Seattle third region. Georgia Amore is the leader of that team. She has scored 20 points in all of the 4 games Virginia Tech has played in this tournament. That's something to look forward to between Angel Reese and Georgia Amore, because the way LSU likes to play defense, Virginia Tech likes to score. So you have offense versus defense in that side of the bracket. But the matchup that everybody's been looking forward to, those who have been following women's college basketball, is the matchup that we're going to get on the other side. The reigning defending champions, South Carolina Gamecocks, who have won 42 straight games. They've already back to their last NCAA tournament run all the way through to this one. Led by, we all know, Aaliyah Boston. Don State at the helm. But they get to go against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Caitlin Clark, who some people have deemed her the Steph Curry of the women's game. Now, those of you who have been paying attention last year, the National Player of the Year was between Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, and it will be again this season. But them two have never faced off until Friday gets here. So when Friday gets here, all eyes will be on this matchup, because this is what people were clamoring for, and this is what they're going to get. That will be after the LSU Virginia Tech game. That will be around 9 p.m. on ESPN.
They need me to be there to call those games.
Quite certainly, sir.
They need me to be there to. You know what? I might just do a live stream of those games. Go on, please.
Now, when you look at this, all 4 teams in the women's Final Four have won 31 or more games.
Yep.
Obviously led by South Carolina, who is undefeated. Now, I want y'all to notice something here. In the Elite Eight, when Iowa faced off against Louisville, Caitlin Clark had a 40-point triple-double.
Better than what LeBron James has put up. Oh, did I say that?
I go a step further. No man or no woman in NCAA history have done that. And that's a lot of men's games that we like to talk about.
Yep.
No
Yep,
man
yep.
has ever had a 40-point triple double.
No one, no male basketball players ever had a 40-point triple double.
Caitlin Clark did it in the Elite Eight against a very talented Louisville Cardinal team.
And didn't even blink.
Iowa likes to score in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
South Carolina likes to keep you in the 40s. That matchup is going to be something to watch because somebody's style ain't going to work.
And it's got to work for 4 quarters.
So when this matchup happens at 9 o'clock on ESPN, when Clayton and Clark and Aaliyah Boston take the floor, this might be the most watched Final Four game of the entire weekend.
Yeah, I'm doing a live stream of that because I can call a game better. I'm sorry, did I say that?
Despite what we talked about with the men's Final Four, FAU, San Diego, Miami, UConn,
Mm-hmm.
when you got the top 2 players in the running for National Player of the Year finally get to take the same court, trust me, all eyes are going to be on it.
With only one of them making it to Sunday night.
But you do get another good one because it is LSU and Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech
Who cares about that game? Who cares
Virginia
about that
Tech,
game?
pretty much Virginia Tech is Iowa and LSU is South Carolina.
Yep.
It's the same matchup. Virginia Tech likes to score. LSU likes to play defense.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it, on the men's side, there's a possibility you can get an all-Florida championship matchup in the men's.
Not happening.
I ain't said it was going to happen. I said it's possible.
No, it's not.
On the women's, you can actually get an all-SEC championship matchup.
That won't happen either.
I got a feeling it might happen. Don Stell already put it out there in the universe.
Ain't gonna happen.
Because I do believe the head coach of LSU, she'll find a way to defend Georgia Haymore.
Oh yeah.
And it's not gonna go well. And it's not gonna go well for Virginia Tech.
And yet I have Virginia Tech playing Sunday night.
Speaking of which, it's Virginia Tech's first ever trip to the Final Four.
And it won't be their last.
It's been a long time since Iowa been to the Final Four. It's been a long time since LSU been to the Final Four.
Yep.
But if you notice something in both men's and women's, you have newcomers. Or those who haven't been here in a long time.
Yes.
Finally getting here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't sit here and say there's nothing to watch when this weekend gets here.
Oh, there's gonna be plenty to watch.
You have women's Final Four Friday, men's Final Four Saturday,
Women's Championship Sunday, Men's Championship Monday.
And that's to throw an extra out there. It is WrestleMania week too.
What?
It's WrestleMania week.
What?
So you have that going on as well.
What?
And not to mention the race to the NBA play-in is tighter than ever.
Go anybody except the Lakers.
With what 5 games left?
Yeah, 5 games left.
There's something for everybody to get into this weekend coming up.
Yeah, give me the women's Final Four.
Give me all of it. Outside the NBA right now.
Say that again, please. Please say that again.
Give me all of it outside of the NBA right now.
Amen to that.
Once Monday night ends, then I'll get back to my NBA stuff.
I won't.
But women's tournament, along with Friday Night SmackDown Friday for me. Night 1 of WrestleMania with the men's Final Four Saturday. Night 2 and the women's championship game Sunday. Men's championship game and Monday Night Raw Monday.
Well, Tuesday is the day I'm looking for, but
the day after.
And I have a very good reason.
Tuesday's the day I get to recover from all this.
Have fun.
Mr. Jim, question for you, sir.
Sir.
What?
The matchup, the Final Four matchup is simple. It is Friday night, 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
You have the top 2 national players of the year finally taking the same court.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about this matchup?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm going to go one step further. Cole, you know how I said that we were going to take over the broadcast rights of the women's game?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put the first wheels in motion and do a live stream of the women's Final Four.
Nice.
I'm going to do a live audio play-by-play stream, and I want the Playmaker to join me.
Now, you know Playmaker with the men's game. You know what sells.
Yep.
You know, one-on-one matchups. That is normally how you, in wrestling vernacular, that's how you talk the folks into the building. You know, you have this alluring one-on-one matchup of elite players, and it makes you want to see what's going to transpire when these two, especially if they play the same position, how it's going to play out. So you have the top two players in the women's college game. They're on the same floor at the same time. And you need to have more of these types of matchups in order to draw more of the interest of the sport. So, in fact, we have this with Iowa and South Carolina. It's awesome.
Yes, indeed.
I already said this will be the most watched Final Four, including the men's this weekend.
I believe it.
I think that game for sure will be. Yes.
And that's the late game, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Playmaker.
That's the 9:00 game.
Yeah,
that's the late game.
Yeah, late Friday game.
Okay. So, Playmaker, will you join me Friday night?
Well, I'll work on that. Like I said, I got a lot going on this weekend.
Will you join me Friday night?
So since that game, I'll join you after SmackDown. How about that?
No, take SmackDown off the board. You got to do both of them with me.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're gonna also?
I'm not playing.
So you're also gonna cover WrestleMania 2?
Man,
yeah, he's gonna cover WrestleMania. I'm doing the women's Final Four.
Wow.
WrestleMania week, man.
So the men's Final Four, the women's Final Four, and WrestleMania all within these 4 days.
All within 48 hours of each other.
So you just came in. So you have the women's Final Four Friday along with SmackDown and Hall of Fame. By the way, congratulations to Rey Mysterio he'll be inducted in the Hall of Fame Friday.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Rey Mysterio. Yeah. Congrats to him.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
And just to help my fellas out, also the lovely Stacy Keibler will be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, Stacy Keibler will be inducted as well. Yes.
She's got legs. I'm sorry, that's her song. So
yeah, she does. Yeah, then you have night 1 of WrestleMania and night 1 of the men's Final Four.
Where's WrestleMania this year?
Hollywood.
LA. Hollywood.
They're playing SoFi.
Yes.
They're playing SoFi. Oh boy.
Yes. Now, what do you think? This is new territory here. Okay. You have the women's championship Sunday, and then night 2.
And then night 2 is WrestleMania.
And you definitely know I ain't missing night 2 of WrestleMania. There's no way in the world I'm missing night 2.
Mm-hmm. And the men's national championship is Monday. Yeah. These 4 days are going to be real busy for you. Man.
It might be a live streaming. It might be a live streaming full. It might be a live streaming full weekend for me, with all the basketball games and maybe some baseball and all kinds of good stuff. So y'all pay attention to Snowman Multimedia. Pay attention to the Playmaker for his coverage of WrestleMania and the men's and women's Final Four. I just may be a bit busy myself.
Now, Playmaker. Hour number 2. begins right now.
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular. Ryan McCoffey now joins us this morning.
That's what you need to do to beat Josh Allen. You need to make him uncomfortable.
Hour 2, time for some Spivey notes. And here's Jay.
Well, I know he's only in his 3rd year, but they're just wasting Justin Herbert.
Hour 2,
the hardest working content creator I know, the playmaker.
Hey, LeBron James, the greatest scorer of all time. Hey.
Hour 2,
the one, the only Christopher Dietz.
They rewarded Ohio State for not playing, and they punished USC for playing.
Hour 2, Sam Shady.
Oh, man. It's been a roller coaster ride if you were a Philadelphia Stars fan.
Hour 2, that's Big Ben, the man in charge of the BS3 network.
And if I see Kurt 2 Chainz Cousins out.
Hour 2, Chris Bay's joining us.
Oh my God! Oh, this game! Oh, way to go, Sammy!
Hour 2, was El Jefe.
Oh man, I thought I missed it.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Time for hour 2 of this spectacular, and it starts right now.
Oh boy. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm not going to waste any moments because we got Jay Spivey coming at the bottom of hour 2.
Hawk TV, LeBron better not be in attendance.
Man, you know what?
LeBron's sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic bronzexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YOKAY. LJP, now approve all this. I'm so sorry, that slipped.
No, it didn't.
I'm just saying.
No, it didn't. That did not slip. Don't you tell that lie to me again. That did not slip.
I ain't paying that. I know he does it on purpose. He better be in Minnesota on Friday, and he better be in Houston on Sunday.
He won't be. And I pretty much give me this camera. And I'm only going to do it for this purpose.
Okay, all right, no problem. You'll get the camera after this. All yours, sir.
As a basketball player, he sucks. He blows. He's not good. Take the camera back.
And that concludes
give me the experience.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
There?
Oh, I got one. I got one.
You been had one.
Okay.
Oh, I got plenty.
Good Lord.
But before you go, how much longer do we got before the actual games actually start counting?
Before what?
Before the season actually starts.
Friday.
2 days. No, Thursday. Yeah, 2 days. Because the regular season begins Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get this off my. I'm gonna get this one out now. I'm gonna have them throughout the season. Give me this camera. Okay, listen. Y'all know the roommate I've had to deal with. Y'all know the people I've had to deal with in 2015, X included.
Yeah, $50 sushi day.
I have one. If you can believe it, I have one that's worse.
Say what?
You heard what I said.
Victor,
I have one.
Stop the cap.
This ain't cap. This ain't cap. Trust me. This ain't cap. Here's what happened. This lonely blank wanted to take me to a bar and grill inside of Marshall Fields in downtown Chicago. So, as Playmaker said last week, who's to say no to free?
Find a lie.
Exactly. Find the lie. So I said, all right, the hell with it. I'll go.
Oh my.
Well, guess what? The bartender himself scolded him.
Not the bartender.
The bartender himself scolded him about, you ready for this? Trying to skip out on a tab.
Oh boy.
All right. So
I decided to have, so the bartender yanked me aside and said, make sure he pays up before he leaves. I told roommate that I didn't have any cash. In 2 words, I lied.
I'm kind of agree with that. So we're going from a $50 sushi date to him trying to impress another woman, which didn't work out.
Yep.
Now we having drinks and
I decided.
I already know what he's doing.
I decided. I yanked the bartender aside. I said, "How much does he owe you?" He told me. I paid it and put a 20% gratuity tip on it. I just didn't tell him that I paid his tab because I knew he was going to run another one. So me and the bartender got together and I said, look, whatever I order, you put on a separate tab for me. He said, all right. And then he actually told me, you're actually good because you paid his tab. Whatever you get's on the house. Good. Let's just not tell Voodoo that. Well, son of a gunslinger, here we go again. There was a young lady he spotted and subsequently wanted.
Oh, Lord.
And she wanted nothing to do with him. Old Brian got an idea.
Not again.
Again. I went up to this young lady and I said, you want to have some fun with this sucker? Which is not the words I use, but y'all get the idea. And she said, sure, what do you have? She said, sure, what do you have in mind? I said, give me a hand a minute. So she laced her fingers within mine and we walked up to him while he was in a drunken stupor at his table and told him we're leaving. You know, he didn't move.
What did he have to drink?
You really want an answer to that question?
Might as well. People are gonna ask anyway. So
all I will say is that it was loaded. That is all I will say.
Brown loaded.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Sounds right up Ray Ray's alley.
Yeah. Yeah. He had a few Ray Ray's drinks. I figured, why not? Let's see what happens. Yeah. When he sobered up, he didn't find me at the house. Uh-oh.
Finally sobered up. How long did that take?
Oh, but he found
2 days.
You. Oh, man. But he found
To answer your question, Playmaker, 2 days.
Okay. Damn. 2 days?
2 days. Trust me. Uh-huh. Yep. I finally turned on my phone and he called me 15 times.
And every time you looked at that phone, you said,
Bitch, please.
Exactly. And there's a Milwaukee Bucks fan in front of me.
All right. Go Bucks.
Shut up. I'm teasing this guy, and I'm teasing this guy in front of me.
All right. 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 All right.
Yeah, he called me 15 times. And each time got progressively worse. Each message got progressively longer. And each message ended the same way. Where is she?
Who is she? That would be my response to him. Who is she?
Oh, that necessarily wasn't my response. My response was to use Cole's favorite pitcher, fire it at him like a fastball from Nolan Ryan. So I said she's sitting right here. And he demanded I put her on the phone. And I politely hung up.
That was the right thing to do.
Yeah, he kept trying to call me.
Something wrong with this roommate. Something's seriously wrong with this roommate.
I came back to the house. And
it took you this long to realize this?
Cole, you're going to have to get that stunner ready.
Oh, no. Not
because he got so mad that he was yelling at me. And mind you, this guy is 6 inches shorter than I. He kept yelling at me. He kept pointing at me and all kinds of stuff. And then he made the mistake of trying to punch me. And when he tried to punch me, when he tried to take a swing at me, when he thought he could body me up against the wall, this happened.
Where is it?
That's the first thing that happened. Then he took another swing at me. Yep. That's the next thing.
Lord.
He
backstage right here, it's
I bet there's some of the stuff you want to play right now.
And
doggone needle in the haystack in this mother.
Yeah, I get it.
Gracious. Oh, don't worry. It's coming.
It's coming. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he tried.
He tried, but he received this.
4 of them. That's 2. You think he'd get the hint by now?
I'm getting too
He
old
didn't.
for this.
Oh yeah.
I do one myself. You big Denny.
And the last one wasn't a stunner. It was more of a rock bottom.
Well, I don't have that. But yeah, I don't have that.
You might as well create a whole new boil while we're actually finishing.
I might have to.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yep.
I might have to create a whole new board. No.
Yeah, we're gonna have to create 2 new boards.
But
anyway,
I already want RKO to do it. I don't even know.
Nah, forget the RKO. A stunner does just fine.
No, I'm surprised with that dude, considering that you're tall and he wasn't. I'm surprised you didn't do this to him.
Why you had to do Ray like that, man?
I was tempted.
Mm-hmm.
But considering I lived in Glenview, Illinois, where I stuck out like a sore thumb, I didn't want to go to jail.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you actually thought that through.
But believe me, the thought crossed my mind.
This dude here, the managed you to put her on the phone. Who in the hell do he think he is?
Don't ask that question. Don't ask that question. And that's my Cupdom experience for this Tuesday.
Wow. Considering this wasn't planned. Oh my goodness.
Cole, I still hate you for that.
What I do now, Playmaker?
That goddamn he draws you in.
I told
you and before you know it, you in therapy. And it's too late to get out.
You loved it anyway, so quit complaining.
I told you I had a surprise for you.
Oh, this dude. Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh, I gotta pull that Big Show. What he used Rey Mysterio for, like a bat.
A bat.
When he was on a stretcher.
And that's what happened to bring up. He going to the Hall of Fame, and Cole does that.
Oh, look, I love Ray, but that doggone it, that was funny.
You can take the camera back now.
Thank the Lord.
This
And that
dude
concludes.
literally say-
And that concludes a second rendition this episode of we was going to talk about Lamar Jackson. We were going to actually put forth a couple stunners to people, but no, we get a Cupdom experience story. Beautiful, I love it. But
this man demanded to talk to the girl. Demanded.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll settle Lamar.
I would win Eddie Murphy. I don't see no reason.
Oh, do that again. Do that again.
You fool!
I almost feel like playing that on loop every time you do a Cupdom experience, because I just want to say that this guy's so bad.
You fool!
That's being nice.
It would be well deserved and well warranted.
Because I'm like,
that's being nice.
You idiot.
Because I'm saying to myself, man, I'm like, no man could be that gullible, that dumb, that stupid. But I can hear Rudy Ray Moore, aka Dolomite, saying to me after each of those, he can't be.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there is. There is such a guy.
It gets worse and worse. It doesn't get any better.
No, it doesn't.
There is such a guy, and I lived with him.
I'm happy
Never again.
Because
I'm like, how in the world you just keep snatching his girl?
I'm just glad I didn't wind up in jail. Just a minute. I'm just glad I never wound up in jail.
That's a good thing.
I'm just glad I never wound up in jail in Glenview, Illinois.
Like Cole, he never had a girl.
That's what I'm saying.
After my Playmaker, after my birthday 2014, he didn't. Does that answer your question?
I don't know. I don't know what I find funnier. The fact he a girl 50, he was like, nah. Or another girl, and it didn't even take 30 seconds for her to say, nah.
I can.
And
look,
Brian ends over both of them.
Look, I can settle our discussion on Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers with two sentences. Lamar's going to end up in Washington, and who cares about Aaron Rodgers? There you go.
I mean, the state of New Jersey does.
Unfortunately, to answer your second question, unfortunately, the Jets. And to answer your first question, we're going to be hearing about this until Lamar Jackson signs with his new team.
Right. And I know that. Just trying to put a little simplicity on it.
Yeah.
Just trying to put a little simplicity
people
on
have
it.
the wrong color. And unfortunately, people have the wrong color labeled on this situation. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, it's not black, it's not white, it's green.
You know what?
Guy who feels though he needs to be paid more, and the Ravens think, nah, it's not going to happen. It's a green thing. It's about money.
You know what?
Great job, Cleveland. Very terrific job, Cleveland.
I'll save them for Friday. I shouldn't. I really. Let's take a break. Let me think about it for 90 seconds, and then we'll decide where we go. Because there's two ideas rolling in my head right now, and I got to flip a coin.
Oh, no problem.
Victor, I know where you're coming from because one of my successes put me in 3 years of hell.
We'll be back right after this. Snowman in the morning with Cole Johnson. We're joined by the play.
This is Snowman in the morning. This is Snowman in the morning. This is Snowman in the morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus, smarter than energy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extra berth. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
This is a BS3 Network presentation. Politics.
They'll write the law, but they'll enforce it differently. Is that going to apply both ways?
Religion.
God never said that we can't reason together. Matter of fact, he said, let us sit and reason together.
Relationship.
I believe that everybody wants and needs somebody.
From a man's perspective.
They say, girls, if I put some polish on that and get him to buy some different clothes, girl, he could be a winner chicken dinner.
Join the thought engineer.
There's nothing wrong with me developing my piece and you developing your piece, but understand the goal is to come together.
And comedian John Yogi.
Negro, I don't need you putting on no chapstick up there in the pulpit. You do that over there in your chair.
Get ready for
Talk Monday.
Live every Monday at 7 p.m. Central. Cause we take this job so serious.
The f is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
Shout out to my man Wise. I love him. Back in the morning with Cole Johnson, joined by Snowman. I'm Cole.
Did you play?
And the
Did you play my
playmaker.
favorite one? The bleep is that?
Yeah, I just did. Yeah, I just did. In fact,
And he just
Because
looks
we
so
take this job so serious.
The is that? Sorry, pardon me. My apologies.
What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson.
and I have the privilege to deal with that at least once a week. It's real.
It's a thrill. Well, the Brian Snow Show will debut.
Uncensored Wise, I love it.
Well, the Brian Snow Show will debut Wednesdays with Wise beginning tomorrow on the afternoon program. So we're gonna have a little fun, Wise and I, and it'll be one of the best hours you'll ever see. Aside of that,
so you like those not the on your
yeah. And I already know I'm going to be handing you some clips to edit because there's one I got to hand you from there's a clip I got to hand you from last week to turn into a bumper, and it's one of my own. It's one of my own.
Ryan says, "Look, this show's so off the rails today. Not even the bumpers can get right." Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, Cole having all types of trouble over there today.
But it's Cole. He finds a way to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's gonna work.
He finds a way to make it work. And then Victor at the end of it, but I won't be using Bromble for my day.
Oh God. He begins it by saying, "Look, I'm not the most successful when it comes to dating, but even I had more success than him,
and I can vouch for that."
And then it's just but I won't be using Bromble for my dating woes, though.
Yes. You know,
yes.
Don't you got Jay Spivey coming on?
Victor Ice Cold.
Well, Jay's not going to be able to make it. He's tried getting on a couple times, and Cole, can you send a link to him again? See if we can get on, because we're going to try to get him.
I'll give it a shot.
We're going to try to get him on.
Oh my gosh.
I'll give it a shot.
Because he just sent me a message saying if we wanted to wait a day or two. Part of me does, but part of me doesn't, because I miss having him on.
Mm-hmm.
And to Victor, would you please put an explanation in the chat of what Bromble is? Because this is Victor's creation. That's all I'm gonna say.
You created it and you ain't even gonna use it. Kind of.
This is Victor. Like I said, this is Victor's creation.
He created the fact he don't use it.
Would you want to use it? Would you have the need of using it? Should be the question. No, twice? Okay.
Oh my.
Yeah, why? Okay. I got a question.
We might have an answer.
Snowman disappeared.
Well, let's see. Okay, I might have an answer then. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I was listening to Mel Kite one of the times he was on First Take. And then, listening to him and it sparked a question in my mind.
Oh.
What the hell is the purpose of a pro day?
That's a good question, but and we have an answer for you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But now it is time time for us to do the following. Where are you? You're gonna be here somewhere because I know I put you in here. There we go. Now we got to do this.
Jay Spivey now joins us this morning. Good morning, Jay. How are you, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
We're glad to
good,
have
man.
you.
How are you?
I'm hanging in there. As you guys know, I'm going through some personal issues. Going in there, hanging in there the best I can.
We understand that. We
Our
understand
prayers
that.
are with you, man.
Sure do.
Our prayers
You
are
sure
fully with you, man.
Prayers are definitely with you. So, I I don't know which way to go because I'm so giddy to have him on, but I'm going to go this way. And all I have to
didn't have a
say,
clue, I knew where I want to go first.
I know where I wanted to go. There's a couple things I wanted to do, but I'm going to do this one. Jay, why did Adam Thielen sign with the Carolina Panthers?
You know what's
I wanna
odd,
hear
guys?
this
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but outside of the trade and the trade for the number 1 pick, which I don't really get because I gave up a lot for a lot of unproven quarterbacks.
They most
I
certainly
really think
did.
I know you guys are gonna be shocked when you hear me say it. I really think the Panthers have done a pretty good job in free agency.
But there's, you know what? I actually agree with you with them getting Adam Thielen, but there are two major questions. There are two major questions with Carolina right now. Who's going to tote the rock, and who's going to throw it to him?
Well, that's right, but they got some linemen, they got some defensive players, they got the stuff they needed beforehand, which they never got with the quarterbacks they had.
So how do they put all this together? Who do you think
they got a pretty good running back?
But the one major question, and I'm going to keep posing this until draft night or draft day or whatever the hell it is, who do they choose?
It sounds like they're leaning towards Stroud, which I'm not sold on.
That's exactly what I thought they were leaning toward. That's exactly.
So you
what
give
I'm
up
leaning
all
toward.
that draft collateral for Stroud?
I thought I actually thought when they moved up to number 1, I was like they're targeting Stroud.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's face it, guys. They're in deep straits as RA is. If they fail and punt on this one, so to speak, it's going to cost them for 10 years.
Yeah, that's
exactly the way they're
for. That's the price you pay for making a bad decision at quarterback. I agree.
I mean, look what the Jets are doing right now. I mean, they're doing anything for a quarterback. Colts, look at the Colts, same thing.
Look at the Colts. Yeah, same thing. Same thing for the Colts. Same thing for the Jets. But as you said,
Rodgers, they should be ashamed themselves.
As you said, Jay, and as you said, Cole, the Panthers are leaning heavily.
Name for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, they're leaning the Panthers are leaning heavily toward C.J. Stroud, and let me come to Jay. That's a huge mistake. That's a mistake.
I never was sold on him when he was at Ohio State, and he really, he played well in spots in the playoffs, but yeah, he's another one. I mean, with the way these quarterbacks are going now, they're going to get hurt. They're not going to play 18 and 20 years like Brady and Rodgers.
The route I could possibly see them going is that somewhere down the road, free agency, they may pick up a journeyman, and they may say, "Okay, CJ,
well, they did. They got
training this guy
Palmer
for about a year or two."
I mean, not Carson Palmer, no, Andy Dalton. I'm sorry, Andy Dalton. They just got Andy Dalton.
Oh boy,
yeah, Andy Dalton. I mean,
so I mean,
his days of being even a functional backup quarterback are done.
Just look at who they've signed recently with quarterback. They hadn't had anybody.
Yeah, and there are certain people that think a certain quarterback who wore number 1, which I will not name, thinks
I won't name him or the other guy, but
nor will I.
He's a Hall of Fame.
Nor will I.
Let's talk about this. I saw this guy do a pro day for the second time in his career.
I mean, wait, whoa. What?
He said there ain't 32 quarterbacks better than he is. Well, there's about at least 64 quarterbacks better than he is.
There's 128 quarterbacks that are better than him, and some of them are not in the league yet.
That is correct.
Some of them are in
Jay.
high school.
That's correct.
Exactly.
Jay. That's at least 64. I said this. I said this in our private chat. I'll say it publicly. When you have a quarterback who teaches you a playbook of a team, and he is not taking an NFL snap yet, that's
done.
a problem. And you're done.
You're done. You're done.
I don't know how else you can say this. Dude's on the team for a year. You have a rookie who comes in and he learns the playbook well enough to where he could teach you the playbook.
Right.
No.
Big problem. Big problem.
That has nothing to do with skill set. That has nothing to do with prowess. That has nothing to do with the ability or acumen to do the position. You can't grasp a playbook.
Right.
I don't think he's grasped a playbook since his last years in Carolina, let alone the lone season in New England.
Let's be real, guys. Everybody saw him, whether it be in NFL personnel, team personnel, or just fans who have a clue what they're talking about. The guy can't play anymore.
Right. He couldn't throw the ball beyond 5 yards.
He cannot run anymore.
Oh, but in his second pro day, he tried to show that he could throw a 50.
Well, you know what? Pro day, he's not facing 6'5" linemen, 6'5", 350-pound linemen.
That is correct.
He better be glad he's not facing the defensive player of the year in Nick Bosa. And that's all I'll say.
So do I need to pose my question again?
That's why I did it, sir. I mentioned those words so you could pose the question.
What the hell is a pro day? Why does it matter? Like, because to me, listen to Mel Kiper, pro day don't even matter.
Okay.
Pro days certainly don't matter to him, that's for sure, because nobody's going to sign him. If nobody's signing Colin Kaepernick, they're not going to sign number one.
Nope, they're not.
I meant in general because for Mel Kiper's pro day is
who's the self-proclaimed Superman.
And I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, so you have the combine, so you got the combine, then you go to pro day, and then you have another like pro day when the NFL team is in charge. Like, hold on, why do you have so many of these damn workouts?
Well, because you got guys like number one who wants to show up randoms.
Wait a minute, wait, show up randoms?
Yes.
Didn't Colin Kaepernick do that? Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you know why
he didn't show up.
You know what Colin Kaepernick is not playing, and it's totally different than why number one's not playing.
Oh, yeah, it's
far
different.
True,
Far different.
Very true. Very true.
Because there's a bunch of hypocrites who are owners in the league.
Yeah.
Listen, I probably wouldn't do it, but he had every right to kneel. Every right to kneel. But yet these hypocritical owners refuse to acknowledge that.
Yeah, even to this day. Yeah.
And they won't acknowledge it either.
Mm-hmm.
No, they never will. And just same thing with Lamar right now. There's collusion right now. They don't want to give him a guaranteed contract.
Nope.
See, I don't.
They don't.
See, I don't know if it's they don't want to give him a guaranteed contract.
No, they don't want to give him a guaranteed contract.
They don't want to give him
no.
guarantee. They don't.
I don't think they want to give. I don't think they want to give him a Deshaun Watson guaranteed contract. And
no,
that's what I'm talking about. They don't want to give him $250.
Right, and I think that's what he's demanding, and because of that, that's why people are saying this is a color line. I'm like, yeah, it is, but you're calling out the wrong color. It's green because these owners are greedy. They want to pinch every single penny, and you have Steve Biscotti actually in public this time last year say, well, it's going to be tough to negotiate with the QB in the current market. Right there, he's basically saying, I'm not going to sign him to whatever he wants.
If you sign Lamar and any other player, whether it be a quarterback or any other position, to these contracts, you set a precedent and that's not what the owners want. They don't want guaranteed contracts in the NFL.
No, they
Not
don't.
for anybody. Not for anybody.
No,
And you're walking down a slippery slope if you start that precedent.
Well, if that's the case, thank Minnesota for that too, because Minnesota one that started it.
And the fact that Cleveland was stupid enough and gave Deshaun Watson a guaranteed contract,
A fully
the other owners don't
fully
want it.
guaranteed contract. That's
fully
the thing.
guaranteed
A
contract.
fully guaranteed contract.
For
And
a
see-
guy who had been in deep trouble.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are thinking, well, you have this guy who hasn't won an MVP. He teams had to come off 2 number ones, a third and a fifth, and he got a fully guaranteed contract. Lamar Jackson's won an MVP, and he's done all of this. You mean to tell me he's not worth it? It's not that. It is these teams are looking at Deshaun Watson and the situation there, and you have these teams saying, that's a little too much to actually commit. So I'm going to have to basically carve out 1/5 of my salary each year for the next 4 or 5. And I got to give up 2 first rounders? No, I can't do that.
No.
You know,
And let's face it, he's making it hard on Lamar Jackson's
making it hard on himself
because he's his own agent.
Yep.
And
that
that's
is
what
the
the Ravens are
biggest
taking
problem.
advantage of. And that's what the Ravens are taking advantage of right there.
Absolutely.
Because the owners don't want that either.
And then on top,
representing themselves, they don't want that either.
and then on top of the Ravens, please help me out. Name me a guy on offense outside of possibly Joe Flacco, and even that's flimsy, that they threw a lot of money offensively towards. The only guy I can name off the top of my head is Jonathan Ogden.
Yeah, he's smart. Yeah,
that's the only name I can think of where
Did-
they
did they-
offensively said,
did they do it-
we'll commit to you.
Did they do it with Jamal Lewis at all?
No.
No.
What about,
Because he had a 1,000-yard season, and then he got injured.
What about Sharp?
I don't know if they signed him. I don't know if they signed him to a second deal.
What about what's that tight end's name that was on that team?
Todd Heap.
Yeah. What about him? Did they do it for him?
I think they
No,
may
you-
have, but I think it was but it was below market value. I think.
But you're probably right. Ogden's probably the one they put the most
Yeah.
money.
Yeah. This team commits defensively. They'll throw
Without
$
question.
dollar signs at defensive players.
Well, I mean, if you look, John Harbaugh he pretty much goes that way, unlike his
Right.
brother.
Yes, my brother's opposite, right? But I mean, all of these factors come into play. You don't even hear people talk about. I'm like they focus defensively, and offensively they love the fact that they have a run oriented offense.
Right.
And personally, and I know you and I, Jay, are in lockstep with this. The philosophy that Greg Roman has hurts the development of Lamar Jackson as an NFL caliber
Well,
quarterback.
that's why he's no longer there.
And that's why Roman is no longer there. Correct. So I sort of get the collusion, but I think I think people think it's one way, but it's another.
Well, let's face it.
Way another way.
The owners in the NFL have colluded for years. It's just never been
Mhm.
acknowledged before.
Until now.
For 50 or 60 years or more, they've been colluding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like you said, Jay. It's never been acknowledged until now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, when it's acknowledged for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd. It doesn't take a genius to figure out there's collusion right now. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just I'm sick of people thinking that it is a race thing. I'm like, no.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
No. Thank you, Jay.
Never had
Thank
anything
you.
to do with race. Never
Thank
had
you.
anything to do with race.
Thank you,
A lot of
Jay.
things are race oriented. This is not one of them.
This is not one of them. Thank you, Jay. Thank you. Because I was thinking I was like one of those guys just whistling in the dark, just saying things, and basically it's coming back to me. No, it's this. I'm like, you all are not reading the situation correctly.
Well, if that were the case,
They're not
if that were
looking
the
at the
case,
situation.
I mean, stupidly, the Cardinals gave Kyler Murray a huge contract.
Thank you. Thank you. That right there eliminates it right there.
I mean, what was it? It's got to be more than half the league is black quarterbacks now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
how is that being racist?
If not,
well,
real
well,
easy to address
I'll
that.
answer that. I'll answer that question because according to a certain persuasion, they always want to make it that way.
Right. Yes.
They
Well
always
said.
they always
Well
want
said.
to they always want to make it that way. And you look at this Lamar Jackson situation, and to a certain persuasion, and I will always say it that way, it just screams racism when
Yeah,
they
no, they
don't
don't.
look at the simple fact and in the form of a question. And thank you, Cole, for this. What's Lamar Jackson done since 2019?
It has nothing to do with race. Lamar just literally watched Deshaun Watson go through everything he went through and got over $200 million in guaranteed.
Yep. Fully
Yeah.
guaranteed contract. Fully.
A team was willing to roll that Brinks truck of that amount to him.
Yeah,
Willing.
2 Brinks trucks.
And Lamar looking like, well, he didn't play a whole damn year, so maybe it's my turn now. As soon as that contract happened, you had every NFL analyst saying this is going to be a problem for the NFL owners because of what Cleveland did with this contract.
Yes. There's been, it's like Jay said, there's been collusion for many, many moons.
Many decades.
Many
yeah.
years.
There's no question about that.
But the problem is, especially now with everything being so ultra sensitive, and we live in too much of a PC world where you can't say it real.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, then you got folks like us that come along that actually dare to challenge the process. It's not black and white, folks. It's green.
Right.
Okay? It's green. And it's always been green.
You tell me these owners don't want to win no matter who the quarterback or running back or tight end or defensive lineman is?
All I have to say to put it in its proper context, which a certain persuasion won't listen, and yes, I am firing shots this morning. Look who the commissioner is.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
like,
who is in lockstep with every single owner in the league.
Without
I rest my case.
People talk about because
people talk about Goodell all they want, and yes, he is in lockstep with the owners, but the owners are his bosses.
Exactly, and that's why he's in lockstep with them.
Robert Kraft, anyone?
They tell him the crap. He asks, okay, what toilet?
But the players cannot say he's not helped them. And I mean, if they have a $9 billion TV contract, they can't say that he's not helped them in some shape or form.
Oh, of course, you're right. Yes, and I mean, and I think that's why he's able to continue to be the commissioner. It's like, okay, so he does basically act like the puppet to the owner's puppeteer.
Oh, yeah.
I think far too often, but he does just enough to make the players say, okay, he's cool enough. We get he's a puppet, but he's cool enough. We can tolerate him.
Well, he just signed
cool enough. Cool enough.
He
just cool enough.
Yeah,
he
go
just
ahead,
signed a new contract for roughly $50 million or whatever it is. He's
Right.
worth every penny to the owners. Every penny.
Yes, he is, because the owners are still to this day making money hand over fist. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think now they're making each team is probably making close to $300 million a year.
Oh,
I'm talking profiting, not earning, profiting.
Even the small market teams are making a fortune.
Yeah,
because of this TV deal.
Right. They're profiting almost $300 million.
Green Bay, anyone?
Green Bay is probably one of the richest teams in the league.
They are.
Yep.
They are.
And Jerry is the richest.
Oh God.
Yeah, that dude can print money. He's so rich.
Well, heck, let's
Don't.
for lack of a better term here, guys, every owner in the NFL is bleeding money.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, it is a cash cow.
Mm-hmm.
It is the only now in this
Even
TV market.
Even Spanos is bleeding money, and he's renting to another owner.
He's renting to another owner. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know things are completely spread out from when you and I were kids with TV.
Yes,
but 94 of the top 100 TV shows last year were NFL games.
Yeah. Yeah.
94 of the top 100 were NFL games.
That is not coincidence.
No, that's not coincidence. That's design.
That is the only guaranteed thing on regular TV now. That's it.
Yep.
Not
That's design. Let me throw this. Let me throw this out there. I've been wanting to talk about this. I just never got around to doing it. And since we love talking baseball on this show,
oh, thank goodness.
The
2
regional,
days away from opening day.
yes, indeed. The regional networks are kaputski. They're done.
That's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It's a logistical nightmare for Major League Baseball to try to get all these games covered because the regional networks. Go ahead, Jay.
They're having to pay for it. They're having to pay for it.
Yep.
Major League
They
Baseball is
got-
having to pay for it themselves, or it's
The regional networks got too big, too fast. Because for the longest time, who knew what Sports Vision or Sports Channel was?
I think when Fox Sports, now Bally Sports, when they sold it to Bally, they didn't know what
It was done.
Bally didn't know what they were doing.
And still don't know what they're doing because they're trying to hemorrhage everything now. They're trying to hemorrhage everything now.
There are a lot of Major League teams who have recently signed huge TV contracts.
Yes.
Bally can't hold their end of the deal.
And AT&T Sportsnet is next.
Yeah.
AT&T Sportsnet is next, and AT&T Sportsnet holds the rights to the world champion Houston Astros. That probably is the only thing that may save them. The fact that the Astros, A, won the doggone thing last year when no one expected them to, and B, they get the spoils of it.
Yeah.
They get the spoils of being the defending champions, but AT&T Sportsnet is about to fold, and the reason they're about to fold is NBA based, and you know where I'm going. The Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The dumpster fire that is the Rockets.
Ain't that the truth?
Speaking of dumpster fires.
Wait a minute now. You're going to gloss over the fact we just talked about baseball?
No. I'm coming back to that. Trust me.
No. I mean, we actually just go to discuss that on this show.
Yeah,
the nerve of us to do so. You're right, Jay.
The nerve of us to actually talk baseball at all levels. How about that?
I know.
People care.
Well, I know quite a few people who care, and you know quite a few people who care, and Cole knows quite a few people who care. It's just the people who don't care don't get any listens. Oh, did I say that?
I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to Thursday.
Yes. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
It seems like this NBA season will never end.
It's dragging on,
and we got another 2.5 months until it's officially over.
This load management is ridiculous.
I've turned off my NBA eyes. This load management isn't. Look, this load management is too much.
Yes.
And I've turned off my NBA eyes to it. I can't stand it anymore.
For all those idiots, and I hear it every day, who say LeBron is better than Jordan. When did you ever see Michael Jeffrey Jordan take load management?
Never.
I think it is NEVER. Not even at 40.
Never.
When he had 2 bad knees. Never.
He had 2 bad knees. He had a bad back, multiple bruises throughout the season, and yet he averaged at least 38 minutes in all 82 games. Okay? All 82 games.
Load management wasn't even in his vocabulary. The fact that when he got injured and he missed 67 games, he hated it because he was ready to play by January.
He would have told whatever told whatever coach he had. No, he was going to play that
right. Night. The team held him back, but he was ready to play in January.
Right.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, it just.
And the loveliest thing The lovely broken foot. Yeah, 85, 86, and he broke it in game
Broke his
3
foot.
against the Golden
Yeah.
State Warriors.
Early regular season, yeah.
And that was one of the only times he had to be carried off the floor. Sansa championship.
Right.
Sansa championship moment. Let me correct that. But when have those guys, Magic, Bird, MJ, Julius Erving, shied away from playing basketball?
They had to be severely hurt. Bird played with a broke back for what, 4 straight years?
4 years.
Nobody's
Until he finally couldn't go anymore after the 92 season.
Nobody's even playing back-to-backs anymore. They take one of the 2 nights off every single time.
Oh, I mean, Jay, you want to talk about something ridiculous? You got fools like Kyrie Irving who actually wanted to put in his contract, I will only play 60 games and no back-to-backs.
I'd have shredded that thing.
Really?
I'd have shredded that. See, this is why people don't like me being old school, but let me be an owner and he presents that to me. I'd have shredded those demands and say, you play 82 games or get out of my office. See, let me
you to dictate those terms. Forget you.
Let's close with this, and I want to have Jay back on Thursday since it is opening day. And Thursday we'll talk nothing but baseball and prime the pump for baseball and the Final Four. So Jay, I want you back on Thursday. Let me close with this. People have asked me what should be done about the fakers. At the top of the season, I said, here's what you do. You bring LBJ, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook into the office. You put them in front of a door, and you put Jeannie Buss in front of the door also. And I said, why are you doing that? And you all hand them one thing, pink slips. You tell them, get the hell out and stay out. Because those 4 have ruined a once proud franchise.
The unfortunate part is you can't do that with Jeannie Buss because she actually has ownership stake on the team.
So you know what? I wouldn't care. Like, I'm taking your ownership stake from you. Get the hell out and stay out.
Well, look what she had to do with her brother because her brother ran the Lakers in the ground after her dad died.
And now she's doing it too.
Yeah, she had to fight for principal ownership.
She had to fight for principal ownership, and look what she's done since. She cow-tied to LBJ twice.
Everybody kowtows at LeBron.
I don't. You know, my friend Matt McGee said it best, and we'll leave it here. If the NBA players can manage when they play, then I can manage my fandom. If they can load manage when they play, I can load manage my fandom. We'll leave it there, and we'll have Jay come back on Thursday to talk baseball. Glorious baseball. Lots and lots. Can you smell it? Can you smell it? And I'm hoping to get back to North Carolina a couple times to do some UNCG games. We'll talk more about that. Thank you, Jay, for coming on. We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, enjoyed it as well, man.
Same.
Many prayers to you, bro.
Many prayers, my friend.
Appreciate it.
And to knock a man because he makes $1,000 a week? Oh, y'all need to get over yourselves, ladies. This is ridiculous. Because some of y'all not even making $1,000 a week. No, we're more than working hard, and there's so much more to us. And if you would really sit down and get to know a man, then you would see this. But y'all want to continue to put a value on what we do. Or a dollar value, please stop it. Get over yourselves, because you're not bringing some of y'all not bringing in 500 a week. So what the y'all talking about? Get over it. And that's all I got to say for this week. And oh yeah, Boston. That's the Yankee fan in me.
You want to hear who else Wise curses out? Join us on Mentality. Go to the Comey Media Incorporated or RealWise TV YouTube channels. You can also join the Snowman Multimedia YouTube channel to watch that episode. We also talk about Jonathan Majors. And you can catch the television replay on BS3 via Roku TV. That is this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central. And we thank you for all of your support.
Y'all are fucking nuts, and I love it. We got to go. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you,
then they are simply not big enough.
Tomorrow, y'all know what day it is. And my take on Brock Purdy, or as my friend Bay says, Purdy Mouth. We're out of here. See you tomorrow.